Good morning. Welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View this Tuesday morning. The good news is Casper flew into Glasgow last night. Well, he flew into Scotland. I don't know if he flew into Glasgow or not, but he flew into Scotland last night. He flew in private jet. You've got to say, Celtic are making sure that these players are coming in are treated like players would expect to be treated going to a big club in European football. Have you ever wondered why? Why do Celtic always send these international players to London to do a medical? And why don't they do it in Scotland? Well, it comes down to a few things. And with private flights, although there is many small airports around Scotland that smaller planes could fly into, I'm sure there's one at Cumbernauld, there's not out that way, and there's definitely Glenrothes Airport, little private airport. I don't know if any. There's bound to be other ones over the West Coast way that smaller airports that they could fly into, but then you've then got the hassle of the MA, and then you've got the hassle of trying to find a medical place that can, at short notice, do a full medical for a player. The fact is, London has more airports, means more chances of, and you see the airport, I never even heard of the airport that he flew into, so it was a small airport on the outskirts of London, easy for private jets to get into. There's more clinics down in London, as you would expect, and they're all getting their medical stuff down there, and a lot more privacy away from the sort of beady Scottish mainstream media and paparazzi. Do you still get paparazzi in Scotland, or is it just everybody walking about with their phone these days? No need for paparazzi. Easy access to an embassy is the most important part. There is no, when it comes to it, all the embassies are in London, whether we like it or not. And it's, if they need any extra paperwork to go along with their signing, they always say that due to international clearance, they've signed him, he's had his medical, and he's signed due to international clearance. Well, when they're in London, if there's any more paperwork needed for that international clearance, they pop along. Well, I don't think the player does, but someone pops along. Well, the player would have to, because he has to be there in person, wouldn't he? So they would pop along to the embassy. All right, just sign for Celtic. He's not got a wee G accent, but anyway, that's the real reason that Celtic send, and it's not just Celtic. There's a lot of teams send their teams down to the players down to London purely for the fact that embassy, loads of extra flight spaces to land planes, and medical centres. Nothing untoward. It's not that Celtic are trying to hide anything. It's just easy stuff. A lot of paps in Scotland cannot tell them operazzi at all. Oh, it's going to be one of those mornings, isn't it? Anyway, getting back to the Celtic news, Martin O'Neill. I missed this one out at the weekend because he was talking about young Thomas Hatton and Sean McArdle, and he congratulated Hatton on the fantastic performance that he put in at the weekend. And as fans, we are sitting looking at that and going, he's got to be on the outskirts of the team this year, surely. But Martin O'Neill says that the young lad, whilst he had a fantastic game and he's almost there, he needs to just get a little bit better before he's chatting on the door to get into the first team. And you're kind of like, oh, Martin, don't say that. Just give him... Well, he's obviously giving him a big motivational boost by congratulating him and telling him he's doing well. But he just needs to do that little bit better to be jumping on the door of the first team. Martin O'Neill said he's a young lad making his way in the game. And it's a battle to try and get him into a side with seasoned pros. You've got to remember that he is only 19. He is a young lad. Let's not start that debate this morning again. But you've got to say, I was actually buoyed by the fact that some of the B team players and the players that are knocking on the door of the first team, they were actually quite good. And it goes against the grain against what Brendan Rodgers said. Because Brendan Rodgers told us that this time last season, this very week last season, first pre-season pre-season conference, Brendan Rodgers was banging on about the fact that the B team is around about 3 or 4 years from producing any talent. Really? But then again, maybe he was right. I don't know. It was Brendan Rodgers. But at the end of the day, he left the club, and we now have Martin O'Neill for a full year. Hopefully that Harton's performances and, the fact that there is a young lad from... Don't say the young lad. He is young. He's 24's young. Get it up, yes. 24's young. I don't care what you say. He's younger than my daughter. He's young. It's anyway, with the likes of some of the younger players champing on the door, I think it's not as bad as what it's been made out by the previous manager. Tell me what you think this morning. Martin O'Neill is spot on. Do not put too much pressure on them. Maybe loan them out to get first team football. Talking about the young Hatton. Maybe a season-long loan at Dunfermline or something will do for Hatton good. That's a good call. That's a good call. Double signing today? No, I don't think it'll be a double signing today. Casper will be at Celtic. It'll be at Lennox Town, won't he? He'll not even go to Celtic Park. He would have flew up to Glasgow last night, be staying in a hotel last night, getting up, getting his breakfast, cheeky wee Scot. What's this tatty scone thing that you eat? First day in Scotland, and he's like, tatty scone, please. Always wanted to try a tatty scone. And only your best black pudding. None of those cheap beans either. No have none of those cheap beans. It has to be Heinz, I've been told. The guy in the taxi coming up here. It wouldn't be a taxi, it'll be that blacked out Mercedes that they have, Just driving up in the blacked out Mercedes, sitting in the back. And he'd get up this morning. Do you think he would have went, I can't be having one of those Scottish breakfasts. I'm continental. He'll be getting up, he'll be having the cold ham. And the fruit bowl, and cheese. Anyway, just thought, just a wondering. Somebody should ask him that. So Casper, first morning in Scotland, what'd you have for your breakfast? You'd be like, what? I would. Celtic media would fucking hate me if I got in there, because I just asked the most weird questions. They'd be like, what? I said, no, but fans are interested. First time in Scotland. Have you been to Scotland before? No. What'd you have for breakfast? Do you have porridge? No. But it's wrong time of year for porridge. It's winter stuff. Do you have a Scottish breakfast? Or did you go for that continental stuff that you're used to? You would see the Celtic media team going, fucking don't let him in again. Never! We fry up a can of brew, healthy start to your career in Scotland. Tatty scone, haggis, sliced sausage, square sausage. So it's got to be sliced sausage. In fact, what he needs to do, he needs to be introduced to the tatty scone, square sausage, haggis, egg roll. And it's a roll. You call it a bap and I'm kicking you off the channel. It's a roll, right? That is it. Porridge. Right, let's get back to the football, because he's shown more than Tenecti, and Balak is the question everyone raves about. Yamal, good enough, old enough. I think that when you've got senior players that cost you £5 million, and if you've got a young kid that's chumping on the door, you're talking about percentages that Hatton, you're only talking about 1 or 2% that Hatton needs to improve to get past Balak on a regular basis. And Tenecti, the fact that he's taking on players, I think that it's a hard one for Martin O'Neill, because do you put him out on loan knowing that Balak and Tenecti are shockingly bad? I will say that in the nicest possible terms. And do you keep him in the training? Do you keep him in, or do you let him go out and play first team football? Or do you just say to the guy, come on, grab him aside and say, look, I really want you to be play. Do managers do this? Do managers play players off against you and just grab them up and say, look, mate, I think that you could be better than him. I'm just saying, don't be telling them, don't be a grass Hatton. But I think you're better than Balak Wisher. Go and prove it to me on the training pitch. And get him right up there. Anyway, Young Hatton for me will only get better the more he plays. It's a fingbab. A thing. What was that? A fingbab. I'm not even going back down that road. I don't know what that comment was. Ray, you get them over here, but they're not the same because it's all like English. You don't really get. Nah, you don't get decent haggis here as well. But yeah, that's a good fry up. It always turns my stomach. I have a fry up in here like that. For about 4 hours after. Anyway, that's enough of the food this morning. Let's get back to it. Not seen many 70-year-old football players still playing. Lol. What? What are you talking about? It's a rolling sliced sausage. A rolling sliced sausage. Bollocks, she's just giving me bran flakes. None of that shite. You're getting your fresh orange juice and your fucking healthy stuff, you bam. Don't listen to that cunt on the YouTube. That's how it goes in the morning, isn't it? Anyway, Casper is due in the building this today at Celtic. Martin O'Neill has been praising some players. London calling. London has been the calling point for many Celtic players as they make their way to Scotland because of the embassy, because of the airports, and because of the medical centres that are freely available down in good old London town. Anyway, other than that, it's quite a slow news morning. We're all kind of waiting on this deal going through. The deal's done. The paperwork's, it's signed as such. Do you think that we've got Here's a question for you this morning. Do you think that we have got Casper on the cheap? Now, this is a guy who scored against Manchester City, Atletico Madrid, and the mob that we played in Portugal. That showed us that we were poor. They played their B team, we played our B team, and their B team was far superior to our players in Portugal. Do you think that we've got Casper on the cheap, or is 11 million a good price for the player? Because it's been suggested that he could have went for 20 million if Bodo Glimt had kept a hold of the player. I'm not too sure, but it is an interesting thought. And I love a crispy roll with Watson's pie on it. Watson's Bakery in Govan. Now, is the Watson's pie, is it a mince pie? Is it a steak pie? Is it a minced beans and potato pie? Just asking. Since you're all talking about pies, that's me getting on about breakfast. Apparently, clubs in Germany and Italy were interested in him, but he wanted us. That's interesting because Celtic have lost out to players so many times over the years, and I wonder, it'll be interesting to ask him when we see his interview and why Celtic. Is it the fact that we've been chasing him for a couple of years and he's just went, that's a club, and it could just be down to that. It could just be down to the fact that the players, he's like, this clubs keep knocking on the door, they keep asking about me, and that for me, that for him could just be the reason that he wants to go. Just realised there's stuff on here that I need to get rid of. Anyway, right, let's jump into some more of the comments. We've got him on the cheap. I was saying at least 15 million. Well, when you look at what we want for players, we just sold Dyson Maeda for 10 million. And some of us say that was maybe too cheap. And you bring in someone that scores regularly in the Champions League, and we managed to get him in for around about the same money. It is interesting, isn't it? There was a comment. Medical in London, why? They don't want players to use all the Uber guys and all the illegals running about in Glasgow. It's embarrassing. They wouldn't come to the UK. It's totally fucked. Jesus Christ, Pat. That's a bit far. That's not the reason that they go to London. Anyway, these are all now talking about pies. 11 million is a good deal. 11 million is a good deal for him. He can play. That's what counts. Ray says a player who has proven he can do it in the Champions League and is 25. It's a great age. 11 million seems a steal, which is interesting because a lot of the fans complain about the 11 million that we paid for Arne Engels. I've said before, I'll reiterate what I said a few seasons ago when we signed Arne Engels. I thought that Celtic would go down this road of banging in quality over quantity. Quality is going to cost you in the region of £10 million. Between 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for a half reasonable player. Camilo Duran was a steal at the money that we got him for. Just going on the 3 goals that he scored. Then again, the season might start and he might be a lightweight in the Scottish League. You never know, but I doubt it. It does seem a steal, and especially if he goes on to score the amount of goals that we're hoping for. It's the One Celtic Fans Breakfast Show. Yes, it is that this morning. And I do apologise because this all came about because we were wondering as Casper wakes up in the hotel in Glasgow this morning and he's goes down the stairs for breakfast. It's all inclusive. There's no need to pay anything. He's like, cheeky wee breakfast this morning. Ho ho! And he goes down the stairs and he's like, ooh. What the fuck's that? What is that? Hope he's got somebody well at the hotel and Celtic haven't just abandoned him at the hotel. He's like, he's walking about going, what's that? Go and tell me what that is. I've never seen that before in my life, especially if it's his first time in Scotland. That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? Anyway, so he likes cold weather. He's a madman. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's been used to the colder weather in those Scandinavian countries. But they get proper snow. He's going to be disappointed in the summer. He's going to be real disappointed when you don't get the real snow in Scotland and it's just that sleety pish. It's just like drizzle and just it lands and then just disappears after 2 hours. He's going to be way pissed off come winter time. He's going to be like, it just fucking rains. It's wet all the time. People still think it's year 2000 when they think of transfer valuations, says Ray. Buckfast Brecky. Stock pie makes money, says there's reasons. He's a good old school striker. Him and Duran will score 50 goals between them this season. Oh. How many goals? What do you think that the goal tally will be? If you remember at this point of the season when Brendan Rodgers was manager, he would sit down when they were away at these training camps. He'd sit down with all the players and they would sit and talk about targets. And obviously the first target is getting through to the next round of the Premier Sports Cup. That's the first target. Next target is getting into the Champions League. Boom, target done. And then they sit and talk about, let's try and see how far we can get in the Champions League. Let's try and see if we can get further than ever before and get through to the sort of later stages. Try our best. And then get through to the cup finals. And then in the league, what targets do we set for the league? 100 goals? 100 points? Just go all in and try and just be record breakers. Who's getting excited for the season? It is only, we need to do the countdown. We haven't done the countdown for the league opener, as they say. Starting to get excited now that real football's back. The World Cup was good, and I got a bit excited that yes, Spain won the World Cup. Football won over the World Cup. So it's been a good summer for football that way. Real football won. None of this diving messy nonsense and you thinking put his hand in his mouth, you fucking grass. That Messi needs that. Anyway, it is. Don't do that. Remind me later. Why did that come up? It is 6 days, 10 hours, 38 minutes and 46 seconds until Celtic are back in action. Yes, it is only 6 days, 10 hours and 38 minutes until Celtic are back in action. It's the countdown timer to the start of the SPL season. Me, for one, I'm excited about it because I know that we're kind of settled. I know that there's not going to be any, there was a lot of if and buts and question marks. We know that Martin O'Neill's here for one season, so that's fine. We go on with it. We enjoy the season. We know there's, unless Martin O'Neill has a shocker, and even Martin says it's a results game. It's a results game, and if the results aren't there, you're punted out the door. Thing is, Baz, we all moaned about Engels' costs, but it has worked. It has that. Michelle says, wait until he's introduced to black pudding and iron brew. Anyway, I'm going to jump into some more of these comments. 21 for... I'm not saying that out loud. Jay Johnson's in the house. Over 100 goals would be nice this year. Recef has been comparing him to Viduka. Great striker, rotten attitude. Well, let's hope that he's not like Viduka and he's not a great striker with a rotten attitude. He has signed a 4-year deal with the option of an extra one by Celtic. It's kind of a little bit, although they do have that option. So you're thinking that, look, he may only be here for 2 or 3 years, but you would like Celtic to bring in that option a little bit quicker just so that it keeps the valuation of the striker at an all-time high. If we cut out the pass-back, side-to-side push, then we'll score a lot of goals, says James. Sorry, I've jumped through a lot of the comments. Nobody has that for... I have never met anybody that's actually eaten a deep-fried Mars bar. Talking about food, Joe. That's a heartburn combo. Is that Celtic fans who think Engels is worth $1 million are blind? Honestly, watch the guy. Analytically, for one game. I watched him in Portugal, and in Portugal, he was head and shoulders better than what we had on the pitch that day. You saw an instant, you could tell he was a better quality player than we had on the pitch. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, definitely the big centre mid as Calmac could not defend, and far better going forward. Michelle's away to fix her eyebrows. And even money on Celtic to win the league this season. What a steal. I think that Celtic win the league. My early predictions that Celtic will win the league this season. If Martin O'Neill can get the best that he will out of this team, it wouldn't surprise me if Martin O'Neill got a treble. And then it is a very, very difficult situation for the incoming manager. But then again, Brendan Rodgers had to come in after Ange Postecoglou had just won the treble and left Celtic. So we are all waiting on Celtic making the announcement today. What time that will be, who knows? It's Celtic. They might not even make it today. Jed Johnson says, Koch. Why are you calling him Koch? Don't call him Koch. Looks like a goal machine, and like Sutton. Well, let's not even talk about that. Engels look uninterested on Saturday. Baz Does Food, the new channel. Yeah, I'll swap the name of that other channel to Baz Does Food, and we'll just talk about Scran, Scottish Scran. You make me feel bad. A fried Mars bar. Nobody's ever had one of them. Engels gave the ball away 3 times. Made one good defending tackle and made a few passes against AC. Callum McGregor lost the ball a few times as well. We know that we need a better midfield. So we just need to wait and wait and wait and wait. Still waiting on the official announcement. It's making me nervous. Something may go wrong. Nothing's gone wrong at all. Nothing, calves. Anyway, that is me done and dusted for this Tuesday morning. Come on, Celtic, get your act together. just announce the deal. Just get it done today rather than announcing it tomorrow, and get some more players in, because we still want more. We're not happy. On that note, have an absolutely fantastic day, Celtic fans, wherever you are, all around the world. I shall see you early evening tonight. Until then,